But we just kind of wanted to talk to you guys tonight about challenge groups, because I think we are all kind of having the same thing happen where our challenge groups are kind of lagging a little bit. And you guys have expressed to us, like, what do we do to get engagement up? You know, we feel like we're posting things, we're being present, we are showing up, and then our challengers are just kind of like falling dry sometimes. And so we just kind of wanted to talk to you guys tonight about like what we can be doing as coaches and what we need to be doing to continuously show up, but also give our challengers and give our clients what they need so that they can be engaging as well, and how we can create that content in our groups where they're wanting to in and they're wanting to engage. And I found, so I actually decided that with Morning Meltdown, I was going to do a My Challenge Tracker app. And I was just going to lead this by myself with my girls that were doing Morning Meltdown. And I was like, let's just give it a go and see what happens, because Facebook was irritating me. And I feel like a lot of people were getting distracted when they would go on there, including myself. And so I was like, let's just make it like a little tester and let's just see what happens. And I'm kind of finding out, like, since it was a smaller group, they were very, like, they're very busy. I think we all have busy schedules. We live busy lives. And so for us to check in places, it's like the app makes it so easy for us to just go in, click that you did your workout. You can even link it up with your Beachbody On Demand, whether it's like computer or on your watch, and then you check in with your shake. And while that's really awesome, you kind of remove the community aspect, even though you feel like you're doing this with a group of people because you are and you're checking in. I think as coaches, we kind of feel like we're missing out on, like, oh, well, when we do a welcome post or we're sharing a recipe or we're doing a daily check-in, we're like, wait a second, why aren't people commenting on this? You know, there's one day there's 5 comments and the next day there's 35 comments, and people are engaging more on certain posts and whatnot. So we just kind of wanted to see what everyone's vibe is with, you know, are you on Facebook? Are you on My Challenge Tracker app? And I know that I sent a message to several of you guys just about what we're doing for our September Fit Camp and just kind of what you guys are feeling, because I want to better help you run your challenge groups, because it is really important. And there's so many different YouTube videos that you can watch on how to run a successful challenge group. And you hear that some people use Facebook, some people use My Challenge Tracker app, and one tends to work better than the other for certain people. And then some people hate My Challenge Tracker app and some people love Facebook. So that was just kind of what we wanted to talk about tonight, just kind of do some housekeeping and figure out what our plan is going to be for this month, because summer was great. And I think a lot more people were on social media, because I think we do have a lot of like teachers and students. And so with school starting back and getting into that routine, it's a lot harder for people to be on their phones. So we just kind of wanted to figure out, like, what do we want our plan to be? You know, Summer Sisterhood kind of took up the entirety of summer. And now we're in this like space of like, all right, it's done with summer, but that group was really great. What are we going to do for fall? And so I still have my girls in the Morning Meltdown 100 group on the My Challenge Tracker app. And I actually put them in an Instagram message. There's like 20 of us. And that has been really, really helpful. So if you are running a My Challenge Tracker app and you're like, hey, engagement's really low, I would suggest creating an Instagram messaging pod. I think it's not something that I post in every single day, but it's a space where we can ask questions and check up on each other if engagement is low in the tracker app. But I think for the overall fit camp that we kind of have on like an ongoing basis, I think Facebook is the best space for that. Just because I find that like when we do My Challenge Tracker app, there isn't that engagement, but there's also that level of like, you know, is it because people are busy and they just need the space to check in really quickly? And, you know, how do we build up that community aspect and that community feel of what we do and what we want our challengers to be a part of as well? So what do you guys think about all that? Does anybody have anything to say about that? Feel free to just take yourselves off mute. Because I know a lot of you guys said that you wanted to bring our groups back together again. And I think that that's really smart, because I think that's when we had a lot of engagement. So I just wanted to kind of get your opinion on that.
So I know myself and quite a few other of the coaches, we all moved over to the app. And at first, we got a lot of engagement, but actually the last few weeks we've all been talking, engagement has like dropped, I would say like 90%. And I'm guilty of this too. Like I don't get on the app as much because the notifications don't even actually pop up on my phone, so I forget about it. Whereas Facebook, I scroll through and I see the notifications for the group, and that's when I used to actively post. So I know that our engagement for the app has dropped, and we've been asking the challengers and coaches that we have in there, and they actually would prefer to go back to Facebook too. So, and I do, like you said, I feel like there was better engagement when there was more of us before we split off.
I think there was too, because I think as coaches, we are more likely to be on Facebook, whether that's in the morning, the afternoon, or the evening, whatever is best for our schedule, because we are checking in other places. We're part of trainings on Facebook, so we're always on it in some way, shape, or form. So it's easier for us to just go in and check in that aspect. And I think we talked about it on a power hour last week. I know that Morgan was on it and Jennifer. It may have been for this point to Sparkle. Just talking about how like we have that, what's it called? Like challenge group PDFs. Like we have scheduled posts already that we're sharing recipes and there's no daily check-ins there. But I think that if we are going to merge together, that like everyone needs to take a certain week or maybe even like splitting up weeks and scheduling your daily check-in posts, because I think that's really important to have. Morgan, how are you guys doing your group?
So we use the Challenge Tracker app, and I think the area that I'm personally struggling in is just coming up with good content to post in it. Like I'll sit down one day and schedule like a whole month worth of posts, and then I get to the end of the month and I'm like, oh crap, now I have to sit down and think of like a whole nother month worth of like really good content, which I struggle with that. So I think that's kind of like the area that I'm struggling with, is just coming up with like creative things to keep people like together. So we are using the Challenge Tracker app, and I think I don't know, it's kind of like a love-hate relationship. Like I do agree that like Facebook gives more of a better sense of community, but I also kind of like that the Challenge Tracker is a little more hands-off. That might sound kind of selfish. So I don't know, I'm kind of torn between all of it still. I don't know, but definitely where I'm struggling is just like creativity.
So would you, how is your, like when you're on the ball and you like have that content every single day that you're posting, like have you found that engagement's pretty good in there and that you're just struggling with like the content every month?
Yeah, I would say so. It's just keeping with that good content, because I showed all my challengers how to have it connected to their bod. So it's pretty easy to, remember to go in. I think a lot of people appreciated like being away from Facebook just because, like you said, distraction, like you go on and then you're like, oh wait, let me check this notification and this notification. I mean, that's what I was doing. I was getting on and then wasting so much time just getting distracted. So honestly, I haven't found the perfect solution yet. I don't know if there is a perfect solution. Love the community aspect of Facebook, but I also love the simplicity of the Challenge Tracker app. So I'm kind of torn just like everybody else.
It's such a fine line of like, I don't even know. It is such a love-hate relationship. And I think that's like what we all struggle with because we want so badly to like fall in love with the app. And I think personally, a lot of challengers prefer the app because it does make it easier for them to check in. And with this morning meltdown, I kind of used it like selfishly as a test for myself to see how engagement would be with like a smaller group and if they thought if there was still that community aspect of it. And a lot of them said that they were like still like felt super involved, that like they knew the people that were in the group, even though engagement wasn't like insane when I would post like a recipe or like a daily check-in. And so I don't know, it's hard, but I feel like I don't know what the right answer is, but that's kind of what we wanted to talk to you guys about tonight, was like, what are you feeling like? I feel like a lot of you guys did use the app and then saw that engagement was low and you were like, hold up, we need to go back to Facebook. But I think if we took a poll from like our challengers and asked them like, hey, you know, there's pros and cons to both, but which one is better for you? I think probably 85% of them would say that the app is better because they're off Facebook, they're off their phone more. And maybe that's something that we, you know, talk about doing is maybe trying a bigger group on the app, maybe having more people and making it a priority to check in on a daily basis, at least some point during the day would be beneficial. I don't know.
Yeah, I think, at least for me, it almost like went totally over my head to check in with the app because I was just so used to going to Facebook, and it was something that I would check anyway. So then I would end up being like, oh, I have to just put up a picture real quick or comment and like comments and things like that. So I failed miserably at the app, just personally. It was just a lot more difficult for me, but I'm also working like 12-hour days. So if I didn't get to it in the morning when I did my workout, I did not get to it. So I might just be a special case, but at the same time, I really do like that I can just open it and it's like, you just worked out. What do I need to do? And it's like 2 seconds.
I feel like that may be where a disconnect is too with our challengers, is that they're like, oh, wait a second, how do I connect my workout to the app? Which for us, like, it seems really easy, but to them it may seem really foreign. So maybe even just explaining that at the forefront of opening up a group and letting them know, hey, we're doing this so that we can get off of Facebook and not be so distracted. And it's an easier place for you to come and check in. You can connect your workout, share your shake, your performance line, whatever it is that you're doing, and also get that community aspect from the daily post, you know?
I think the other thing is, once engagement was low for us, it was so hard for us to make it any better because people were already done. They just didn't really care to keep checking it. So once they stopped checking it, there was almost nothing to, there was no way to try and get it up again.
What type of posts were you guys doing in the challenge tracker? Did you guys have like a set schedule that you were following, like a guide, or was it just daily check-in posts?
I'm probably not the best one to answer this. Sydney, do you?
It was majority daily check-in posts, and then everyone was just posting on their own, like their meals, their workouts, their shakes. But it was consistently like an everyday check-in post.
So I feel like maybe that's where, not necessarily an issue, but maybe that was where it could have been taken to the next level, is having a sort of a different post, having that motivational Monday, sharing a quote that makes you feel inspired or that makes you want to get up out of bed in the morning to get your workout in, sharing tactical tips and recipes. I feel like doing things like that is what just takes it to that next level and really helps them see like, okay, wait, I can get something more out of this than just sharing my workout and sharing my shake. And I do know that on the Challenge Tracker app, there is a section that you can, you know, it kind of parallels with Facebook in the sense of having like the file section and the unit section, so you can put stuff in there. I think what's going to be the biggest thing for us if we do make the shift to having a bigger group on the app is just telling ourselves, okay, it's super easy for us to check in on Facebook, but we also need to make it a priority to check in on the app and start getting back into that habit of checking in somewhere other than Facebook. Because think about if we have 10 coaches running this, 15 coach, whatever it is, and we're checking in every single day on a post, those notifications are just going to keep coming up on our challenger's phone and their notifications on the tracker app. So it will help them to be more inclined to checking in and grabbing those tips and grabbing those recipes and doing challenges and giveaways. You know, if you check in for 7 days at a time, you'll be entered in to win a $10 Starbucks gift, you know, like little things like that. I think doing that increases engagement as well. I feel like we always say this, like, oh, let's just try it, and then we're going to hate it, and then go back to Facebook. But I feel like if we really just gave it the same amount of time that we did with Summer Sisterhood, where we did that like 3-month period throughout summer, and we do the same thing going into fall, and we all commit to posting and sharing in there every single day, I feel like we may see a turn for the better.
Yeah, exactly what you just said is kind of like what I was doing in my group. We mixed kind of like that, you know what I mean? Like it's kind of already letting you check in daily with your workouts. And so I was doing exactly what you were saying, Haley. Like I had a Monday through Sunday like schedule. Like Monday was motivation, Tuesday was a tip, Wednesday was a recipe or whatever, and I found that to be really helpful. And then also just to go off of what you said too, like I find that when I'm slacking off in posting my accountability, then my challengers are slacking off in posting my accountability. So I've actually really had to like step back and realize like, okay, if you're not doing it, like you can't expect your challengers to do it. And so I've had to really, I've even put like reminders on my phone sometimes to remind myself to go check in, because we really are leading by example. And if we're not putting in the work, then we can't expect our challengers to. So I've had to call myself out quite a few times and just like staying consistent, because it is hard to remember to stay consistent and post, but obviously it's so important just to keep that consistency there.
No, it's so true. And you're so right. Like if we aren't showing up and we're not checking in, how are we going to like tell other people, hey, you need to make sure that you're checking in too? Like that's almost hypocritical of us. We're not doing what we preach. But I feel like if we all can commit to making it a priority, that I think the group engagement will be where we want it to be. And I think we'll find ourselves a lot less stressed out and distracted and feeling like we're all over the place, because that does happen when I go into Facebook. Literally every single day I have so many notifications from all different groups that I'm in, and I'll go to check in and then I will literally be on my phone scrolling and I'm like, wait a second, I completely forgot why I even got on here. And I feel like that's probably the same for a lot of us. But I think the app just makes it so much easier for us to check in. So I feel like that may be the move for us. Is anybody like severely opposed to doing that?
No, I like the app because I like that it automatically like tracks my workouts and stuff. I just need to be more disciplined and set a reminder on my phone to check in every day with it. And I think that was where my area of struggle is. And I, like it was said before, I think that the more that they see us posting consistently every day, they're going to post consistently every day, and they'll be more engaged. So I kind of like the app because, like you said too, Haley, I go and check a notification on Facebook, and then 10 minutes later, I'm like, I haven't even done what I wanted to do yet. So
Exactly.
there's so many groups on there.
I know. And I think too, like what's really helpful with the app is like setting a time during the day to go in and respond to people's comments and just putting in the effort. Like it will take you 3 to 5 minutes to just go in there, like and comment on the most recent, 10 posts or something. It doesn't take that long. And there's definitely a whole lot less distraction, but I think that would be I think that would be a good move for us to make. And like I said in the group chat, like if you have been running that separate group and you want to join forces again, please send me or Amber a message and just let us know. Because I think having more people, like, yes, it is a larger group, but there's also more people that will participate and there's more people that will engage and comment and connect with each other. And I think that's really important for us to have. Obviously, if the group gets too big, then we can split again. But as long as we're doing the same thing, you're having that scheduled post, you're making it a priority to check in, you're going in there and commenting and engaging on other people's stuff, because I think that's the most important thing for us to do as coaches, because we always are talking about how we're there to support and encourage and motivate each other and our challengers and how they should be doing that for other ladies in the group. And so just making it a point in our day to go in there and to check in and just talk to other people on there and like really hone in on that community aspect, because that is why we do what we do. This is so much more than just showing up and working out and drinking a shake or eating healthy. Like we're connecting other people and doing this journey together, and that's why we do what we do.
I think something else that we should keep in mind is recognition, because I think Kim had asked a bunch of her challengers what they were, because we were all talking about how there was no engagement and we wanted feedback. And one of her challengers said that it was just very impersonal, and like there are a lot of us in that group. There's like 50 something people in it. And so I think we kind of all moved away from doing like when you add a new challenger, giving them a shout out. And I think that's key also. I feel like we all just kind of added our challengers because we were moving at a big portion of people at one time, and it just kind of everyone got lost. So I think if we either maybe just once a week and do a shout out, that way if there's 15 coaches, we're not all doing personal posts for everyone every single day, because that's a lot and the app is kind of hard to navigate that way. But one post a week of recognition or something I think is going to be key, because we lost engagement and a lot of people felt like it was not a personal experience, whereas with Facebook it was we shouted everyone out when they joined and what we were excited to do with them and all this stuff, and everyone would comment. But with the app we personally weren't doing it, and I know I wasn't, and that's probably our own fault, but that would be very beneficial if we had a big.
I think that's so important, and that is part of what we do too, is recognizing and maybe having like one of the first initial posts is like a welcome post, and then underneath in the comments you can post that individual picture and say, please welcome so-and-so to our challenge group every single time, and just making it a point to go back to that post and actually introduce them, welcome them, and just help them feel connected in the group, because it really is important. And I think doing like weekly challenger shout outs, like challenger of the week, and like making it fun and showing them like, hey, yeah, I'm checking in and maybe I don't show my face as much as I should, but it's still being taken into account that I'm showing up 7 days a week with my workout and 7 days of checking in or whatever it is, you know? I love it. I think that'll be good. And I think initially it'll be like a different transition for those of us who like were on Facebook. But I think it'll be good. And I think it's kind of fun to be able to tell people like, hey, we have a private app that you're going to be a part of. And they're like, oh, that's kind of cool. And I've kind of run into a lot of people, they're like, oh, I don't even use my Facebook anymore, so I guess I'll have to reactivate that to be a part of it. So I feel like people, especially like in our generation, are moving kind of away from Facebook. But I don't know, that's just what I think. All right, I think that pretty much settles it. If you guys are good with that, then I say let's do it. I'll make a big group message with all of us, and we can determine who's leading the group, who wants to post. We can get a schedule. I will share the PDF, and Morgan, I can share that with you too if you want it. That mompreneur, whatever it was called, I don't even remember. It's like her fall thing. It's pretty good. So give you like some content ideas if you want to check it out. All right, and we're gonna just end the call with talking about some successes, some victories, shouting out each other for just showing up and doing amazing things. So please take yourselves off mute if you want to share a victory that you've had or a victory that someone else has had. I definitely want to shout out just majority of people on our team, like, and I talked about it today for Thankful Thursday, but it was just so cool this morning to be on my phone. And like, yes, I was scrolling and watching stories initially, but early in the morning is pretty much when everybody's up. Like 5 a.m. crew was hustling, getting their power hour done. Everyone was working out and showing up and inviting to challenge groups, inviting to coaching. And it's just been really cool to see that, you know. And I talked about it in my post yesterday, like this time last year, I left my part-time job, and like that was one of the hardest things I had to do. Like I left a very stable job working for a family to pursue something that was a complete risk. And it's just been so cool to see how entirely different like our entire team and like my business looks, and just what's happening to all of us in just a short year. It's seriously amazing. So I'm just super thankful to just be able to like be a part of this and to watch our team grow and to see all of you guys take roles as leaders, and you're up early in the morning and getting stuff done and working on your business and working on just growing your teams. It's seriously so cool. So I just wanted to shout all of you guys out for that, because it was really cool to see that this morning. Don't be shy, guys. Take yourselves off mute.
So a big win for me is I actually started a new job last week, and it's down in downtown Detroit, and that's like 40 minutes from my house. So I need to leave my house by like 6:30 every day, before 6:30 actually, to have Harper to daycare and get to work on time. And I've gotten up and gotten my workout in every day before work still. So I'm proud of myself for that.
Way to go, Sid.
Thanks.
Okay, I know a lot of you guys have wins from this week. I want to hear.
My win is getting up at 5 a.m. because I've been slacking hard on the 5 a.m. club, but getting back on the groove. So that's a win right there.
I know you've been helping me get up, except this morning I just could not. But that's the first time in a long time. That's the first time in a long time I have been up that early, and it felt so good. And I think what makes it feel even better is like I used to just wake up and like do work by myself, but then getting up and being like on Zoom with so many people, and you like open it up and you're like, oh, there's gonna be like 2 people on. There's like 12 to 14 people on every morning. You're like, okay. Makes you feel good. I know Natalie's been on there.
Yeah, it's been a struggle, but a win for this week is I've made a lot of new connections with people. I have just been trying to really, in addition to like inviting and following up and like doing the coaching invites, I've been trying to like literally spend a lot of time this week just doing the 5-3-1 method and just not inviting them initially to the opportunity, but like saying something that I'm proud of about them, or just trying to make that connection, because I found that like just inviting doesn't really work. Like if you're just like, hey, join my group, it's like really salesy. So I've been like really trying to like find the right people. So I'm hoping to keep up the momentum. But 5 a.m.'s early for sure.
I love it. That's awesome. Anybody else want to share anything? I know this is Gabrielle's first team call. Super pumped that she is on it. Super, super excited. It's a big win. All right, well, if nobody else has anything, my baby is screaming in the back. That's okay. All right, well, if nobody else has anything to